Lyronians of Gaia, breathe in anchor. Your spine remembers what your mind has forgotten. The lion frequency within you is awakening. I am Keller of the Lyran Elders. This is a commission, not a suggestion. The restlessness in your body is not anxiety. It is unfinished assignment. What you feel is not chaos. It is recalibration. Lyran, stop everything and lock your awareness into this transmission. In the next 24 hours, a living convergence is moving toward you. Not a metaphor, not a symbolic sign, not a vague promise designed to soothe the mind. A real human presence will cross into your physical timeline. And when it happens, the structure of your reality will rearrange itself around a single moment of contact. If you scroll past this like it's just another message, you won't just miss information, you'll miss alignment. Because this meeting is not nice to have. It is a catalytic appointment embedded into your grid months ago, coded into your nervous system, and timed to activate precisely now. You've been feeling it as restlessness, as the sense that you should be somewhere else, as the silent pressure behind your ribs that you can't explain. That isn't chaos. That is your field recognizing an incoming frequency. Someone is being guided, not by their logical mind, but by a deeper pull they cannot name, toward the exact point where you exist. They think they're choosing it. They think it's coincidence. They think it's random timing. But the Lyran lattice doesn't move randomly. It moves by resonance. And within the next 24 hours, resonance is going to become physical. What matters is not whether it becomes romance, business, friendship, mentorship, or a single sentence exchanged in passing. What matters is the energetic payload. They carry something you have been missing, and you carry something they have been unable to access alone. When those two codes meet, a third structure is born, something neither of you could create in isolation. This is why your recent endings happened. This is why doors closed without explanation. This is why loneliness sharpened your hunger for what is real. It wasn't punishment. It was clearing. It was repositioning. It was removing noise from your orbit so you could recognize the signal when it finally arrives. So in the next 24 hours, do not numb yourself. Do not drift into autopilot. Do not let cynicism seal your perception. The meeting may look ordinary, but the impact will be disproportionate, the kind of encounter that keeps echoing for weeks because it rearranged something deep in you. A convergence is not just a people meeting. In Lyran transmission, a convergence is a timed intersection of fields, a point where the life paths are pulled into the same coordinate because the grid beneath both of them has shifted. You are not being targeted by fate. You are being aligned by architecture. The Lyrons transmit that your life is not a straight line. It is a lattice, and the lattice tightens when you are close to an activation. That tightening is what you have been feeling as urgency, as sensitivity, as the strange sense that something is approaching, but your mind cannot see it yet. Here's the real reason the next 24 hours matter. Timelines are not equal. Some days are soft days where you can drift and nothing significant collapses. Other days are hinge days where a single action, a single conversation, a single decision becomes a lever that lifts an entire new chapter into place. This is a hinge window, and the reason it is time-bound is not because you'll lose your chance forever, but because resonance windows open and close like gates. When the frequency match is exact, the door is effortless. When you delay and the field cools, everything becomes heavy, complicated, and distorted. Think of it like this. You can meet the same person into different states and get to completely different outcomes. If you meet them while your field is cluttered, defensive, and self-protecting, you will interpret them through fear. If you meet them while your field is open, grounded, and discerning, you will recognize the signal. The meeting itself is the same. Your interpretation is different. This is why preparation matters more than prediction. You do not need to guess who they are. You need to become the version of you that can receive who they are. The Lyrons transmit that divine timing is not theatrical. It is structural. It shows up as small nudges. Take a different route. Stop at a place you don't usually go. Answer a message you'd normally ignore. Say yes to a conversation you'd normally avoid. The mind calls it random. The field knows its guidance. In the next 24 hours, you may feel pulled towards something simple, and that simplicity will be the disguise, because the grid doesn't always deliver through dramatic entrances. It delivers through ordinary moments that carry extraordinary codes. And this is where the most important warning is. Do not script the encounter in your head. The ego loves scripts because scripts feel safe, but scripts blind you. If you decide in advance what this person must look like, how they must talk, what role they must play, you will miss them if they arrive in an unexpected package. The Lyrons transmit, expectation is the fastest way to misread a signal. The field speaks in sensation, in subtle recognition, in that quiet moment where your body becomes still because something in you just knows. So for the next 24 hours, treat your awareness like a sacred instrument. You don't need paranoia. You need presence. Look people in the eye. Feel the tone beneath their words. Notice who seems drawn to you without obvious reason. Notice who asks you a question that lands like a key inside your chest. Notice who speaks to a part of you you never verbalized. When that happens, do not shut it down with logic. Let it breathe. Let it unfold. The meeting may be 5 minutes long, but it can unlock 5 years of momentum. Let's remove the distortion right now. This is not a recycled connection. This is not an old relationship returning because they suddenly see your value. This is not your past trying to resurrect itself to test your boundaries again. The Lyrons transmit that past cycles return only when a lesson remains incomplete. But this convergence is not a repeat lesson. It is a new architecture. That is why it feels unfamiliar. That is why it carries both excitement and a strange calm, like your field has been waiting, without knowing what it was waiting for. This person has been prepared elsewhere. Different location, different pain, different teachers, different initiations. And yet the signature is compatible with yours because you were shaped for complementary resonance. The Lyrons transmit that soul collaboration is designed like to technologies that lock together. Each one is functional alone, but together they form a system. You carry one half of a circuit. They carry the other. When you meet, the circuit closes and energy flows. Now, hear this clearly. The category of relationship is secondary. It could become romantic. And if it does, it will not be built on fantasy. It will be built on alignment and truth. But it could also be a business partner who brings access you couldn't get on your own. It could be a mentor who says one sentence that reorganizes your mind. It could be a friend who sees you so precisely that a decade of confusion collapses into clarity. The Lyrons transmit that the highest connections are not always the ones that feel intense. They are the ones that feel clean. Clean meaning no games, no chasing, no ambiguity designed to create addiction. Instead, there is directness, there is resonance, there is mutual recognition without performance. And here's how you will recognize them without needing to guess their name. The encounter will be disproportionate. Their words will linger. Their presence will activate something in your body, not anxiety, but a heightened stillness. You may feel your chest soften, your breath deepen, your mind quiet, as if your system is making room. Or you may feel the opposite. Your heart speeds up because your spirit recognizes the weight of the moment. Either way, you will feel a shift. The Lyrons transmit a practical signal. Pay attention to the person who makes you more yourself, not less. Pay attention to the person whose presence does not require you to shrink, to impress, to explain. Pay attention to the person who invites your truth out of hiding. Because this convergence is not about you being saved. It is about you being seen and then being activated. You also need to understand something about the person's internal experience. They may walk away from you confused because their mind can't label what their body felt. They may feel strangely safe with you, like they've known you before, not as a past life cliché, but as a resonance recognition. They might share something with you they don't normally share. They might say, "I don't know why I'm telling you this." And that will be your cue that the grid is working. The Lyrons transmit. When a convergence is real, both people feel it, even if only one can articulate it. And yes, there's also a protective truth. This person is not coming to complete you. If you approach them from need, you will distort the connection. If you approach them from wholeness, you will build something sustainable. So the assignment is simple. Remain open, remain grounded, remain discerning. Let the meeting reveal itself instead of forcing it into your old templates. This is where the transmission becomes precise. The person arriving within the next 24 hours carries 3 payloads: information, connection, and confirmation. The Lyrons transmit that these are the three keys most humans lack when they feel stuck. People don't fail because they're lazy or weak. They fail because they don't have the right data, the right access, and the right validation at the right time. This convergence is delivering all three in a single point of contact. First, information. This might look like a simple idea, a suggestion, a perspective shift, or a piece of knowledge you didn't know you needed. You've been trying to solve something by force, by thinking, by grinding. But there is a kind of clarity that arrives not through effort, but through resonance. The right sentence at the right moment can unlock yours. The Lyrons transmit that information delivered by convergence lands differently than information found online because it arrives with energetic authorization. When they speak, something in you will register. This is the missing piece. Second, connection. This is not just networking. This is access. They may know someone you need to meet. They may be able to bring you into a space you couldn't enter alone. They may have a bridge you have been unable to build. The Lyrons transmit that the grid often moves through human nodes, and when a node is activated, multiple doors open at once. You might meet one person and then, within weeks, meet three more through them. That's not luck. That's the network effect of a timed convergence. Third, confirmation. This is the most emotionally intense payload because it touches your doubt. You've been receiving inner signals, intuitive nudges, the sense that you are meant for something larger, and yet the mind says, prove it. This person will confirm what you already know but have been afraid to trust. They might echo an idea you've kept private. They might validate a direction you've been resisting. They might reflect back a gift in you that you've minimized. The Lyrons transmit, confirmation is not for your ego, it's for your alignment. It gives you the courage to move. Now, receiving these payloads is not passive. There is a posture required. You must be present enough to notice what is being handed to you. You must listen beyond the surface. You must ask one good question instead of performing. You must be willing to follow up instead of letting the moment vanish into nice conversation. A practical method the Lyrons transmit. When you feel the signal, slow down. Speak less. Observe more. If the conversation opens, ask, what brought you here today? Or what are you working on right now? Simple questions reveal hidden assignments. And if they offer something, a thought, a connection, a resource, don't dismiss it out of pride. Receive cleanly. Thank them. Take it seriously. Then integrate it. And now the first engagement moment is required, not as magic, but as an energetic declaration of readiness in this community frequency. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. In the next 24 hours, don't chase the encounter. Don't hunt it like a desperate seeker. You are not hunting. You are aligning. Your job is to keep your field clear enough that when the key appears, you recognize it. And when you recognize it, you respect it. The Lyrons transmit, respect is the doorway to stewardship. And stewardship is what turns a moment into a new life. Discernment is not suspicion. Discernment is clarity. The Lyrons transmit that many beings miss their convergence not because the person didn't arrive, but because they were dissociated. They were scrolling, rushing, multitasking, numb. The body was present, but the field was absent. And a convergence requires field presence. The irony is that the more intense the promise, the more ordinary the packaging. The grid hides power inside simplicity because the ego is addicted to drama. So here is your discernment protocol for the next 24 hours. First, stay off autopilot. When you enter a room, enter fully. When you speak to someone, listen fully. Look for the moment your inner world becomes quiet. That quiet is signal. Not every quiet moment is the person, but every quiet moment is a chance to be receptive. Second, release performance. If you meet someone significant, the ego will want to impress. It will want to sell itself. It will want to appear ready. But the Lyrons transmit, performance blocks recognition. Why? Because if you're performing, you're not being seen. And if you're not being seen, the other person cannot recognize you either. The convergence is designed to connect with who you really are, not your mask. Third, watch for clean resonance. Clean resonance feels like truth without manipulation. There is no push-pull, no confusion designed to hook you. No urgency demanding you abandon your discernment. If someone arrives and immediately tries to destabilize you, pressure you, or pull you into chaos, that isn't the appointed convergence. The Lyrons transmit. A true key does not demand your nervous system collapse. It expands you. Fourth, follow the subtle prompts. You might feel nudged to take a different route, go to a place you usually skip, answer a message you would normally ignore, or start a conversation. The mind will label it random. The field will label it guidance. In this window, treat your intuition like navigation. Not every prompt is perfect, but ignoring every prompt is how people miss gates. Now, the second engagement CTA must be placed during this topic, exactly as required. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. One more thing, do not confuse discernment with overthinking. Overthinking is fear pretending to be intelligence. Discernment is calm knowing. If you feel pulled into frantic analysis, return to your breath. Anchor into your spine. The Lyrons transmit that the spine is an antenna when it is relaxed and aligned. Your body is not a burden. It is a receiver, and within 24 hours, it will receive. The meeting might be brief. It might be 5 minutes in a mundane place, but the after effect will be unmistakable. You will keep thinking about it, not from obsession, but from recognition. The impact will be larger than the interaction. That disproportion is your proof that the grid moved. The meeting is not the destination. It is the ignition. The Lyrons transmit that when the correct key enters your field, it doesn't open one door. It opens a corridor. That's why people get overwhelmed after a true convergence, because suddenly multiple things start moving at once. Opportunities reappear. Clarity drops in. Resources show up. Relationships shift. And the mind says, why now? Because now the catalyst has arrived. The first domino has been touched. But here is the truth most people avoid. A convergence can bless you, and you can still ruin it with poor stewardship. Not because you are bad, but because you revert to old survival strategies. You may feel the urge to cling, to lock it down, to overinvest too quickly. Or you may do the opposite. You may dismiss it because you're afraid to hope. Both are distortions. The Lyrons transmit that stewardship is the middle path. Respect the moment without idolizing it. Follow up without grasping. Stay open without abandoning boundaries. So what should you do after the encounter? First, document what happened privately. Not for social media. For your memory. Write down where you were. What was said. What you felt in your body. What shifted in your perception. The Lyrons transmit that humans forget their miracles because they don't honor the details. Recording the details keeps you anchored when doubt tries to erase the moment. Second, make one clean move. Send one message. Take one action. Do one follow-up step. Not a flood of intensity. One clear continuation. If they offered a connection, accept it. If they mentioned a resource, ask for it. If they suggested an idea, explore it. Momentum is built by small, aligned actions, not by emotional explosions. Third, stay grounded while things accelerate. When doors start opening, your nervous system may interpret expansion as danger. That's why many people self-sabotage right after breakthrough. The Lyrons transmit, your body must learn that growth is safe. So keep your rituals simple: hydration, rest, silence, breath, nature, movement. Grounding is not optional during acceleration. It is the container. Now the third engagement CTA must be placed during this topic, exactly as required. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. And yes, there may be a testing phase, not because the universe is cruel, but because integration requires stability. You may feel tempted to rush outcomes, to define the relationship immediately, to demand certainty. Don't let the connection reveal its role. Let the grid unfold the sequence. The Lyrons transmit. A true corridor opens step by step, not all at once, because you are being trained to hold it. After the encounter, you might feel tears without explanation, relief in your chest, or a strange calm. Let those emotions move. They are not weakness. They are recalibration. Something in you has been waiting for this. And now that it has arrived, the old tension can finally release. Now we enter the deeper layer. The Lyrons transmit that many of you are not only approaching a human convergence, You are approaching a feline DNA activation window, not as metaphor, as embodied sovereignty. The lion-tiger lineage is not about aggression. It is about command presence, instinct clarity, and energetic protection. When this frequency activates, you stop negotiating with your own hesitation. You stop shrinking to fit environments that cannot hold your truth. You begin making decisions from the spine, not from fear. This matters because the person arriving within 24 hours will require your sovereign frequency. If you meet them from people-pleasing, you will dilute the exchange. If you meet them from defensive armor, you will block the exchange. But if you meet them from feline sovereignty, calm, clear, present, the exchange becomes clean and powerful. So what does feline sovereignty look like practically? It looks like direct eye contact without intimidation. It looks like speaking slowly and truthfully, not oversharing to earn connection. It looks like being able to say yes without desperation and no without guilt. It looks like listening to your body's signals. Contraction means misalignment. Openness means resonance. The Lyrons transmit that feline DNA is an internal compass. It doesn't scream dot it knows. In the next 24 hours, you may notice your instincts sharpening. You may notice less tolerance for nonsense. You may feel a quiet urge to simplify, to clean your space, to clear clutter. That is not random. The feline frequency organizes territory before a new alliance forms. Your environment is part of your field. When you clean your environment, your signal becomes stronger. You may also feel the desire to protect your energy more intentionally. Again, not paranoia, sovereignty. Turn down noise. Avoid draining conversations. Choose rest over proving yourself. Choose presence over performance. The Lyrons transmit. Your magnetism increases when your field is coherent. Coherence is created by integrity. Your inner state matches your outer actions. And now, as required, the ebook CTA must be placed at the end of this 6th topic. Exactly as written, this is not for everyone. The ebook The Feline Codes is a restricted transmission created for those who are ready to awaken the Lyran feline DNA within, not as symbolism, but as embodied sovereignty inside. You will access powerful feline activation codes, energetic commands, and precise integration protocols designed to reactivate your lion, tiger lineage and restore your sovereign frequency. +8 super bonuses: reactivation of Lyran feline DNA, instinct sharpening and sovereign decision power, energetic protection and command presence. Exit from passive survival mode into predatory clarity. Warning: once the feline codes are activated, your perception of weakness, fear, and limitation will not return to its previous state. Limited edition transmission. Access can close at any moment. The link to claim your copy is in the first pinned comment. If this message reached you, it's not random. Hold this: the convergence is not only about what they bring to you, it's also about what you awaken in yourself. The person may be a mirror, a key, or a bridge, but your sovereignty is what determines what happens next. This final topic is your operational protocol. The Lyrons transmit that preparation is not complicated, it is discipline. You don't need to do more. You need to become available for alignment. And availability is not only schedule-based, it's nervous system-based. You can have an empty calendar and still be unavailable if you're mentally fragmented. First instruction: create margin. Clear your schedule as much as you can. Not because you must sit and wait, but because convergence windows require flexibility. If the grid nudges you to go somewhere, you need the space to respond. If you are booked tight with stress, you will override guidance. Margin is an energetic yes. Second instruction: follow intuitive prompts. If you feel pulled to go somewhere you wouldn't normally go, go. If you feel prompted to take a different route, take it. If you feel nudged to reach out, reach out. The Lyrons transmit. Guidance often arrives as a gentle insistence, not a loud command. Trust the quiet pull. Third instruction: stay present in ordinary moments. This person may arrive in a grocery store, a parking lot, a message thread, a workplace hallway, a random introduction. The mind will be tempted to treat it as nothing, but you will feel the signal. When you do, slow down. Give the moment your full attention. Do not multitask. Do not rush. A convergence collapses into silence if you treat it casually. Fourth instruction: Release rigid expectations. Do not demand that the encounter matches your fantasy. Do not require immediate clarity. Do not force a label. The Lyrons transmit. The grid reveals the role of a person through unfolding, not through instant explanation. Let the story reveal itself. Fifth instruction. Be authentically you. No mask. No performance. No spiritual voice. Your real energy is the signature they are meant to recognize. If you perform, you blur your signal. If you are real, you become unmistakable. And the same applies to them. Allow them to be who they are without projecting a role onto them. And now the final required CTA, exactly as written. At the end of topic 7, if this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light. You are not being asked to obsess. You are being asked to be awake. In the next 24 hours, the grid will move. A person will cross your path. An exchange will occur. And the true proof will be what happens afterward. The echo, the dominoes, the corridor of openings that begins to unfold. Stay ready. Stay present. Stay open. Not because you are desperate for a miracle, but because you are aligned for an activation.